All right, fuckers. Welcome back to the Outdoor Drive podcast. This is your boy, East Coast Trev. Oh, I guess, can we start it like that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
man.
Like, is it
I was just going to say, man, out the gate, just firing.
Well, I guess we can. So this is your boy, East Coast Trev, and
this is Steve.
What is it? The OSS?
Yeah.
ODD
OD.
Steve.
Yeah, there you go.
The Outdoor Drive Steve. What's up,
firing
man?
on all cylinders, man.
Oh, it's been crazy. It's just everything that's going on, and it's just been nuts, dude. We're in this transition of finding big bucks, killing big fish, and I got the needle in the arm. For a lot of you guys that may or may not know, but offshore fishing is one of those things that's like a really bad drug addiction, and it's a very expensive drug addiction. So we've been able to do those things. I've been blessed this year to spend a lot of time with some friends that are, actually one of them's Ghost, and being able to go offshore and tuna fish and shark fish. So it's really been consuming a ton of my life when I am not A, in studio, or B, scouting. So I've been full throttle. Sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. I don't really know why or for what reason.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, it makes sense. And just to put it into perspective for everyone, we're actually running behind tonight because that drug kind of kept Trev out hooked on the water tonight. So
we were supposed to record at 5, and I didn't get off the water until 4, and the boat is an hour away from home. So like so what ended up happening was we ended up getting out there this morning, and things were just absolute havoc. We went out thresher shark fishing, and they were everywhere. And we tried. We had one bite us off, or not bite us off, but short striked us. We missed one. We had 4 or 5 different ones jumping in the slick. We hooked onto what we thought was a thresher shark, but it was actually a fucking lobster buoy. So we fought that for about 10 minutes till I figured out that was a lobster buoy. So these things do happen, but it was crazy. We saw threshers everywhere. They were underneath the boat. And they just didn't want what we had, man. They were on live bait, and we didn't have what they wanted. So kind of sucks, but.
Well, you know what they say, the fish ain't biting. Take a look at what's on the hook.
It's crazy. and it's one of those things. So like so today would be Tuesday. On Sunday, we went offshore to a place, to like the edge, they would call it, or the canyons, part of the Block Island canyons. And we were out there tuna fishing, and we were a day late or a couple hours short. Once daybreak had come, we had gotten out there, but it was right before daybreak that the tuna was on fire, and we literally fished all day. Actually, this funny story is, all these things, and Trev's bloopers is like one of these things that we talked about on the last podcast, but these things always fucking happen to me constantly. So we were out tuna fishing. We set out our tuna spread, and for you that do, or that you do know, will know what the stinger is on a spreader bar. Well, the ones that don't, so there's a spreader bar, and it has like 6 or 8 squid on it, and it bounces across the top of the water and looks like top water fleeing baitfish. Well, there's 3 arms to it. Like, how would you explain it? I don't even know.
I'll let you.
Like a bracket, right? So it looks like a bracket. It's got one bar, and then it's got one short string, another short string on either end, and then 2 longer ones, and then one really long one in the back. So it hits the last one. So it looks like a fish chasing other fish. And that's the weak one in the back.
So it's kind of like a Carolina rig for the ocean.
Exactly. But it floats it like bounces across the top, and you troll it about, I don't know, probably 6 knots. So you have a bunch of them out. We'll have like 5 or 6 different ones out, and they're all strategically stacked backwards and stuff. And so the last one normally has this teaser rigged on it with a fucking hook, right? So I hand it to Ghost, and I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm just ripping shit out of the bag. There's fish jumping around everywhere. I hand it to him. He starts running the thing out, dude. We run everything out. The spread's perfect, dude. And a fucking yellowfin comes up and rolls the spreader bar like 4 times, like to the point it's like blowing the thing out of the water. The thing's rolling over. We're like, all right, hook. Nothing got it. So we end up reeling it in about after an hour because we ended up deciding to move. And we realized that the fucking stinger hook wasn't even there. the fish was going after a spreader bar that didn't even have a hook on it. So it was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like anything that could go wrong did go wrong on the past 2 trips with the guys, and it's just ridiculous, man. It's just never ending.
So it's like it's kind of like karma coming around, because you had those 2 back-to-back thresher trips and the tuna trip where shit just happened instantly. This is kind of like, okay, you got yours, slow down.
Exactly, and it's like, you know, it's those humbling moments, I guess, is what it is. Like, yo, take a step back, relax, see what's going on, evaluate the situation, and then execute. And we just, in the moment, dude, we're just flying around, things just going everywhere. And it's just, we need to slow down and take our time and execute it. It's just, oh, it's frustrating. And the thing is, like, offshore fishing is expensive. I mean, because it's so far to get there. You know, the fuel that we burn, I mean, we burn 126 gallons of fuel just to go out tuna fishing to not catch a tuna. So it would cost us probably, just in fuel alone, is about, if there's 4 of us, about $200, $250 a person.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's fucking expensive. Then you start getting ballyhoo bait and all that stuff. I mean, that's $20 a package. I mean, it starts to work up, dude. It gets expensive very quickly. And that's what I was saying when it comes to offshore. I mean, a fishing rod's $2,000. I mean, it gets expensive quickly, if not more. So it's frustrating when shit goes wrong. You know, it's the same with being in the hunting woods and being in the deer stand. You know, you spend all this money, and or you might not spend all this money. And I think I tell everybody this is like, you know, just take the hit once when it comes to your outdoor equipment, because you want it to be the best that it can be, no matter what. You know, because you wait in that tree for 6-8 hours for that big buck to come, you know, in that one day, because I know we all spend hundreds of hours in the tree, but to shoot that one buck. But you want everything to be working 100% and not have a malfunction. And with Trez bloopers, I always have the fucking malfunctions, whether I have nice shit or not. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm just saying is, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it once right. And make sure everything is working and functioning actually better. Don't go and buy Walmart grade fucking broadheads, because shit might not go your way.
Yeah, go buy nice broadheads, step on them, and put them through your foot.
Hell yeah. It's the truth of it, man.
I'll still never get over that.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck, man? That was crazy. That was crazy.
That was a good time.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, Steven, man? What's going on in the world of Steve?
Oh, man, not a whole lot going on here. Latest updates, I guess. I did succumb to the weirdest pole saw accident I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, explain this to me, dude, because I seen this on Instagram and I'm like, what the fuck did he do?
Yeah. So usually when you see a saw accident of any type, it's because somebody hit the blade and cut themselves, right? Yeah,
absolutely. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, this was not, in fact, the case. I was on the other side of the pole saw. So I was on it was a 7-foot extendable. So we were 14 feet out, and I was on a peak reaching out probably further than I should have. And at this point I had already cut, I think 4 or 5 limbs, all of them 4 to 5 inches. And it was a sweet gum tree. So anyone who's ever tried to cut through a sweet gum understands that it's literally gummy. It gums up your blade. It doesn't cut. It just kind of chokes you out. Well, we're doing this with a handsaw, not a chainsaw. And we got to the last one. It was the last big piece. I had the option of either cutting 7 2-inch limbs or 1 8-inch limb and knock the whole thing down. So me, being the hard-headed SOB that I am, started cutting this 8-inch limb at full extension. So it's a 14-foot extension, and I was reaching, so it was probably 16 feet away. And when you're cutting level with a pole saw, you realize that you have to add some kind of down pressure in order to get a cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after 45 minutes of cut, take a breather, drink some water, cut, take a breather, drink some water, we finally managed to get this limb down. And by the end of it, I thought I was going to die. I mean, I was cooked. I was overheated. I was done. This thing whooped my butt. So got down, managed to get out, calmed down. Everything was good. And was like, oh, well, that was fun. Next. moved, came home, relaxed, put a little icy hot on because my forearm so as you look at your hand, the muscle that's right in line with your thumb on the top of your forearm was a little sore. So I put some icy hot on, whatever, went to bed, got up the next morning, and I had more or less a golf ball sticking out of the side of my forearm. And I couldn't open my hand. I couldn't close my hand. It sent searing pain up the side of my hand. It's the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. Not like a tear, not like a break, just like almost like when you lift for the first time in years and you do biceps and you can't straighten your arm. It was the same thing, only I couldn't straighten my fingers when I splayed my hand out.
Jesus.
And as the day went on, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I started icing it. Got some icy hot on it, kind of did the typical shit, took some ibuprofen, drank some water, listened to the old doc statements, water, ibuprofen, you can live through anything. And woke up the next morning. It's like, oh, it feels a little better. I'm okay. Well, then my dumbass took a hand spreader and went and put out 1.5 acres of seed by hand. And I got done and I came in and sat down and I couldn't open my hand hardly at all. I mean, I had no grip, no nothing, just done. And that's when I posted the picture. I was like, okay, this is funny. And the only thing I can attribute it to is I strained that muscle using a damn pole saw, which never in my life has that happened. I didn't even think it was possible. But the good news is today the swelling is way down and I can open and close my hand, but now I got this really weird filling up the side of the bone. So we'll see how it plays out. I can still draw my bow. So that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah, exactly, man. Jeez. That's nuts.
Yeah. The dumb shit we go through.
So how long do you think it's going to last? You think is this swelling start to go down a little bit?
Yeah, swelling's gone down, but frankly, whether it's here or there, doesn't matter. I hunted with walking pneumonia last year, so that ain't going to stop me.
Oh, my Lord, man. That's nuts.
I think it'll be gone. It'll pass. I've lived through a lot worse.
Absolutely. Jeez. Can't believe it.
So, yeah.
Man,
upside is... No, you're good. I was going to say upside is food plots are planted. Limbs are cleared. There's really not a whole lot left to do other than I got to clear out your spot where you're going to be hunting the bears, because I went in there and holy shit, I thought I was in the Amazon.
Really?
Dude, we went in to your spot to check the cameras, and as I got kind of looking around in there, I looked back and I was like, man, I can't even see the tree stand.
Jeez.
The undergrowth had come up so high that from the stand that's 20 feet up, cannot see down over the tops of the trees to the shooting lanes.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to clear that. Well, then I got the bright idea that, there was one more stand I put out 2 years ago about 400 yards past it. So me and my wife took a set of pruning shears and a machete and was like, okay, I cut a trail in here 2 years ago. It should be really easy to get to again. It took us 1.5 hours to go 400 yards through the undergrowth, cutting shit out of the way to get to this stand. And by the time I got there, I got up in it and you couldn't see the ground. So jeez. I went, you know what? We're pulling it. I pulled the stand, pulled everything. We packed it out. It took us 3.5 hours to recover a stand that was 400 yards out.
Wow.
So make sure you get a good clean shot on that bear, because I really don't feel like trying to dig through that shit to get it out. That's all I'm saying.
Are you challenging me? No, I'm just kidding.
No, in challenging as in, yes, how good a shot and how quick a harvest you can make. Yes, that's a challenge, because if you make a poor shot, we're in for a long, long night.
I love it, dude. I love it. Oh, wow. We both had very eventful things going on here on some crazy different spectrums.
Yeah, opposite ends of the world, but that's what makes it fun.
That's what this podcast is all about. The obstacles of life. They're in for it.
As Eric put it when he called me going, dude, what the hell did you do to your arm? And I told him, he said, sounds to me like you just have an issue with the muscle between your ears. And I said, yeah, well, like I've said many times, no one said I was smart.
That's right. Oh, I love it. I love it, dude. So you excited to come to Connecticut or what?
Dude, I'm stoked. Next weekend is going to be a blast.
Oh, it's coming so soon.
Yeah, we were looking through everything. I was like, shit, that's next weekend. We're rolling out Friday morning. So, yeah, it's going to be a trip.
Jeez. I know. I can't wait. I can't believe that it came so quickly. I'm like, wow.
Well, we did hold off putting a date on it for 2 months. So
I know. And then I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this going on. All right. Yep. I'm like, oh shit. Kim and Steve are going to be up here next weekend. Wow. All right. Fuck it. We're going to have a good time. So looks like the tides are going to be good. Fishing's going to be all right. And we got a lot of shit to do while we're here. So,
man, we're just going to follow y'all's lead. So we're down for whatever.
I'm not really sure what that is, but we'll plan it out. We'll see what the tide's doing things. So, but
yeah, that'll work good.
I say that we should maybe thank some people who deal with our bullshit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of some of those people, it's going to be fun to get together while we're up there and make that stop by Trader Jan's and go visit Jill up there at Wicked Twisted Bowstrings.
Wild Edge.
Hang out with Drew over at Wild Edge. Check out the new shop. And yeah, really looking forward to that.
It's going to be good. Definitely going to be good. You just thanked them all. No, just kidding.
No, there are plenty more. Go ahead and run the dues.
All right, I'll run them. I don't have my notebook, so bear with me.
Off the top of your head, let's see how you do.
All right, let's go with Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting. Get your saddle hunting stuff, I guess.
Stuff.
No.
And things.
Your aiders, your swaders, your steps, your perches. They have some new stuff coming out with Out on the Limb. The new perch on the Out on the Limb bracket. So a lot of good stuff. So check them out, wildedgeinc.com. Also, might as well go right into it. Out on the Limb Manufacturing. It's Out on the Limb MFG.com. Get on over there. You can get all of your camera equipment needs as far as camera arms. They got all kinds of crazy stuff. Crazy 360 ones. Go and check those out. They're pretty badass. They've actually been running a lot of little sales. I had gotten on an email. If you guys haven't already, get on the newsletter mailing list for that one. They had a sale for 15% off. So they had a lot of cool stuff. So they'll be doing a lot of sales, little flash sales. So go and check them out. Matt Garris over there at Out on the Limb. So check him out. As Steven had said, Wicked and Twisted Bowstrings, wickedandtwistedbowstrings.com or Trader Jan's is the spot to be for all of your custom bowstrings. We also have a promo code for that one. It's Outdoor Drive 10. It's outdoor, capital D on that one, capital D on drive, and then 10%. For 10 for 10%. So save yourself 10% there. Also Nor'easter Game Calls, nor'eastergamecalls.com. Get them in close. We'll call them the leader in your custom calls. So the new Grunt series, Evo series, is soon to be released. The first one was turned out, not online just yet, but stay tuned here and we will let you know when those things come out. There is a bunch on the website. If you guys haven't checked them out, go and check them out. They're over there on nor'eastergamecalls.com. Some of the cool little acrylic ones. Now we're going to a full wood one. Mark with his crazy ideas. Being a custom knife builder, he's come up with some cool ass shit. So go and check them out. Let's go with Broadside Camo. BroadsideCamo.com. Outdoor Drive is the promo code on that one. Spend $45, get something for free. There's a picture realism camouflage. The Center series, your is the mobile hunting setup for clothing. We have the Ascender sweatshirt now. And the Ascender.
No, it's the closer hoodie. The hoodie
doesn't. Closer. Okay.
Yep. The closer comes with the hoodie. The Ascender comes in the jacket. And actually right now I'm in the process of making I'm going to call it a prove it video for some of the Closer series and stuff.
Closers is the one with the white in it.
Yeah, that's our white and green early season pattern. And that's the one everyone asks about, going, okay, well, it has white in it, so I'm going to glow in the dark at low light. Well, stand by, because I've got the evidence to disprove that fact and show what Scott has been trying to tell, that in the absence of light, there's no light. So it's the results of this test I've been doing are pretty freaking cool, and I look forward to sharing that.
It's badass. I cannot wait to see it. I've gotten little sneak previews of it, but I can't wait to see the full product there. And you can check that out on our YouTube page. Also, who else should we thank?
I think we should do Bow Fishing Magazine.
That's right. Nick Sampson over at Bow Fishing Magazine, bowfishingmagazine.com. Go and check them out. Subscribe. Get on that. They have a plug and play as far as the virtual online magazine. So pretty cool. Also, Hunter Site, huntersite.com. It is the algorithm of your hunting journal. Go and check them out online. It's like a hunt stand or an Onyx on steroids. Also, Rack Rage, the best outfits you can possibly imagine. No, just kidding. Rack Rage is go and check them out, rackrage.com. It is the, I can't even speak, dude. My mind is in a whole different place right now. I am
You're still stuck on that boot.
I am stuck on the boot.
The boot.
So the Rack Rage is their clothing line of women and men's cool t-shirts and stuff. So
okay, I got you on this one, Trev. I got you on this one.
I'm fucking lost.
Rack Rage for all of your outdoor apparel, both men and women's gear. Get your old lady a tank top t-shirt, and make sure you check out all of the menswear. It's all set and all ready to go. Check them out.
All right. Well, thanks for doing that, because now you've been nominated to do all the sponsorships from now on, because the fucking voice is just won it over. And I know that you're going to get shit for that. So I can't, you are now promoted to doing all of the sponsorship.
I'm just going to have to pre-record a run through.
Nope. No deal. You have to do it every single time. No fucking deal.
We'll see how that goes.
All right. But whatever, you tried.
Yeah, whatever. We'll go with that. So big thanks to everyone out there for the support, the love. They keep us pumping. They keep us going, and they allow us to be complete idiots for you guys for listening. So thanks. Big shout out to them. And what's that sound?
No, hold on 1 second. Before we get to the news for your cruise, Mike, hold on 1 second, please. Just another thanks to somebody who's not really partnered with us, but very good friends and family of us, is Zeus Broadheads. With the bow season coming up, go and check them out. ZeusBroadheads.com, or it's not even that. So don't go there, because you're not going to find anything. It's newairarchery.com. They have the Zeus Broadheads there. So go and check them out and support them. Local family. All right. On with the news for your cruise.
Not true. I'm going to put a pause on it this time. It's my turn to put a pause on it. So, right, Mike, you got to hold up just another second, because there's one more that everyone's dying for. And sadly, we don't have a voicemail to go with it. But we got to thank the Big Ginger over there at
D&M. Customers.
I couldn't let you miss that one out.
No. He is the fucking man. We always forget about all these crazy people.
Well, it's because you don't have your list in front of you.
That's what it is.
So off the hip, I think we did good. I think we managed to catch each other and get everything covered. So
that's good. And you nominated yourself to do the shout out now.
I'm glad you think so.
Good.
All right.
Speaking of gingers.
Well, what do you say? Let's crank it up.
Crank it up.
Hey everyone, Mike here with some news for your cruise. We're going to kick this one off with a lot of stuff going on here in New England. First stop being in Vermont. This is a follow-up to a few episodes ago when I talked about the new mentorship program for new hunters. Along with that, Vermont is also implementing a brand new novice season for deer hunters, which will coincide with the youth season weekend of October 24th and 25th. This is for novice hunters, which is anyone who is 16 years of age or older who purchased their first hunting license in any state less than 12 months prior to the novice weekend. Novice hunters will need a valid Vermont license, a free novice tag, and follow the same rules as the youth hunters. They will be allowed one either sex tag, and there will be no antler restrictions during this novice season. The novice must be accompanied by a mentor of at least 18 years of age, and mentors can accompany up to 2 novice hunters at a time, but must have a valid Vermont hunting license. One awesome part of this is a deer taken during the novice weekend counts towards the yearly bag limit of 4 deer in Vermont, but novice hunters, like youth hunters, may take 2 bucks in a season instead of 1 if one of the bucks is harvested during the novice season. Again, this is aimed at adult hunter recruitment and is a great opportunity for anyone in Vermont or in the surrounding states, especially because in Vermont you actually do not need landowner permission to hunt as long as the property is not posted. So let's kick it here to Connecticut and listen up, bow hunters. I previously said that they had not scheduled any new dates for the bow hunter education courses, but Connecticut now has an online bow hunters course available through www.bowhunter-ed.com/Connecticut. That link will be posted in the description. It's all online, and it does cost $30, which is a change from the free in-person classes, but you will not need to pay that until you pass the class. So it's only a one-time fee. You're not going to have to pay it even if you don't pass, but everyone should pass that. It's a pretty good course. So that's awesome news, and hopefully we can get some new hunters certified before the season starts here in Connecticut on September 15th, so get after it. Now let's go to Massachusetts, where the Mass Division of Marine Fisheries is proposing in-season adjustments to the 2020 commercial fishing limits for striped bass. As of August 7th, only 24.4% of the striped bass quota had been filled. DMF is proposing to add additional fishing days to help commercial fishermen fill the quota. The proposal includes adding Tuesdays and Thursdays to the commercial fishery as of September 1st, which would allow commercial fishing Monday through Thursday, and then adding Friday to the season as of October 2nd. DMF did propose similar changes last year, but after receiving public comments during a 2-week period, recommended taking no action on those changes. So DMF is accepting public comment through 12 p.m. on Monday, August 24th. All written public comments should be addressed to Director Dan McKiernan and submitted via email to marine.fish@mass.gov or by mail to 251 Causeway Street, Suite 400, Boston, Mass. 02114. They are also proposing similar adjustments to the commercial black sea bass and summer flounder fisheries due to quotas. So if you have a voice and you have an opinion on this, make it known and get those comments in either way. Now on to another big fish report. Big fish are being landed left and right, and this time it's in Rhode Island, where Matt Perry of Fall River landed a new state record rod and reel cobia. The fish came in at 56.42 pounds, so congrats to Matt on an awesome catch. So now let's head out of New England, because I don't know about you, but I am sick of the heat and humidity here. So let's take a trip to Wyoming, to Grand Teton National Park, they are seeking volunteers to shoot non-native mountain goats after calling off a helicopter goat shoot amid criticism. The park is trying to eradicate the non-native goats that have been threatening the native bighorn sheep, which has been determined by biologists as a very small bighorn sheep population there. The latest effort is scheduled for September 14th through November 13th with hunters on the ground. They are considering this a cull and not a hunt, and with that, hunters will not be allowed to keep the goat for meat or for a trophy, but can donate the meat to food banks. Those interested in taking the challenge on can apply for the hunt and must apply as teams of 2 to 6 people. Grand Teton will take up to 240 applications and then cut off the process and will draw participants randomly. Participants will be trained to use bear spray because you are in grizzly country, and the participants must pass a firearms proficiency test and should be able to hike up to 20 miles of mountainous terrain per day. That might knock me out, but good luck to anyone that gets that opportunity. Not very common opportunity for any of us around here, so good luck, and I hope it helps the bighorn sheep population there. Now, let's head across the pond to Africa, and a big shout out to Caddy Cowboy for bringing this to me and making me aware of it. This is more of a conservation topic than anything, which kind of hits home, doing conservation kind of work for a living. So unfortunately, COVID-19 has had a huge impact on hunting in Africa, and not just hunting, but wildlife-based tourism in general. You often talked about trophy hunting. Most people don't realize there's also a conservation aspect. And more importantly, not just conservation of the animals that are being pursued, but other non-game species. Trophy hunting contributes significant funding to things like anti-poaching, surveillance, and fence line management in many countries, which funds have been cut to due to the pandemic. Unfortunately, conservation hasn't escaped the impact of the pandemic, and wildlife-based tourism, which includes trophy hunting, which is worth about $71 billion annually in Africa, is being threatened. The tourism funding has all but dried up due to the pandemic, and it's affecting conservation in wide swaths of Africa and some 23 million livelihoods. Now, all that funding obviously isn't hunting generated, but is a big part of it. So anyone out there that has the means to hunt and support those funds in Africa and in those areas, they need it now more than ever. So thank you, Caddy, for bringing that up to us. And lastly, this is a little bit more of a PSA, again, due to COVID. As we all know, it's impacting a lot of out-of-state travel, and this is, hunting is no exception to that. Everyone be sure to check what states are requiring as we approach many of our seasons. Just recently, New Mexico has implemented a required 14-day quarantine for out-of-state hunters. With this changing almost daily, just be sure to watch what the states are doing, especially the ones that you're going to be traveling to hunt this year. So with that, as always, please send your news. This one was a little more focused towards New England because apparently people outside of New England don't know how to send news. Or maybe they do. I hope they do. Send it along. You can reach out to me on Instagram at bearded_bowhunter21 or through Facebook, Mike Salter. Just hit the forward button or tag me and stuff if you see articles coming up on any news that's going on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And with that, enjoy the rest of your ride.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike, for News for Your Cruise.
Say that again.
News for your cruise.
You been drinking?
No.
Or are you sunbaked?
Sunbaked. Somebody's going to take that the wrong way. It's really cool that the Connecticut is now doing the online bow hunting course. So they've kind of, this liberal state has now caught up with everybody else. Way to go, Connecticut. Thanks for doing so. appreciate it.
Crazy.
Well, we should probably stop taking up everybody's fucking time because they definitely don't want to hear what the hell we got to say. They definitely did not come here to talk to us or listen to us. They came here to listen to
our guest. And our wonderful guest. And she just jumped on and joined us. So give us a second and we will roll right over into it.
Nice shot. Here comes a shooter. Shooter. Big buck. Stacked.
We're back on the phone with Jackie. How are you doing, Jackie?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing all right. I'm glad you can join us. Sorry about the inconvenience. I'm an asshole, and I spent too much time on the ocean.
Hey, man, I'm a bit of a dick, so it's cool.
Yeah. So why don't we turn this key, put it in overdrive, and why don't you tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
My trail name is Dirt Nap, like you take a nap in the dirt, and I will explain what trail names are if you want.
Please do, because that's something that until actually following your path, I didn't understand that trail names had such significance.
Yeah. Do you want me to answer the rest of the who am I? Or just go into trail names?
Yeah, no, answer
Sorry,
it first.
I got excited.
Okay, so my name's Jackie. I am from a town called Lilburn, Georgia, which is a northeast suburb of Atlanta. I basically just tell people I'm from Atlanta because no one knows what Lilburn is.
Funny enough, I do.
And really?
I do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I got stuck down at Fort Benning for a little while. So
I'm sorry about that. I got stuck in Lilburn for 27 years. So, yeah. So that's who I am, the simple of it. And you want me to roll into trail names?
Yeah, we'd love to hear what the trail name is all about. Because dirt nap to us is a totally different meaning. I'll go into that after.
No, I actually learned that. Yeah, so basically, people on trail go by trail names. Usually, it's just some dumb shit you do, and then people start calling you that. So nobody really goes by their real name. So yeah, I just basically, long story short, I'm just a really tired person. And at the beginning of my hike, I would always just lay down on the side of the trail and take a fucking nap whenever I needed one, and then wake up and start hiking again. And then the dude I was hiking with was like, I was taking dirt naps. I'm gonna call you Dirt Nap. So that's how Dirt Nap came about. And then I was in a shelter and some dude was like, what, so did you like kick somebody's ass? I was like, what do you mean? Like, where did you hear that? And he's like, your name is Dirt Nap. I'm like, I don't understand like what you're trying to tell me. He's like, yeah, it means like you killed somebody. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know that. I fall asleep on the ground all the time. So yeah, I didn't know that Dirt Naps mean that. I didn't know that means you like, beat the shit out of people or whatever it means. So there's that.
I love it.
Yeah, in the hunting world, we'll be like, oh, fucking dirt napped, and that means that we shot something or we killed something when we get all pumped up. We're like, oh, I give that fucking thing a dirt nap.
All right.
Yeah, same difference.
Okay, yeah. Same thing. Yeah,
for sure.
Only yours is a lot more subtle.
Yeah, mine's a lot more chill, I think.
Yeah,
I didn't kill anybody yet.
So you just that's funny. I can only imagine after what you just went through. So you just completed a through hike of the Appalachian Trail.
Yes.
And why don't you just kind of run us through just a real quick, timeline details, what that is? Because a lot of our listeners don't quite understand what that actually entails.
All right. Let me school you. Okay. So the AT, as most people call it, the AT, is a long distance hiking trail that runs from Springer Mountain in Georgia all the way up to Mount Katahdin in Maine. It's 2,193 miles long. It is a footpath only, meaning you can't ride your bike on it. You can't ride your horse on it. You can strictly hike this trail. Most people, it takes about 5 to 7 months to hike it. I started February 22nd in Georgia, and I summited Mount Katahdin in Maine on July 21st. So I was 1 day short of a 5-month hike.
Jesus.
You're in all types of weather. I got snow, I got lightning storms, I got borderline blizzard conditions, I got, hail, 15-degree temperatures, 100-degree temperatures. You get everything. See some wildlife, meet some cool people. You go through 14 states, and it is just fucking badass, dude. It was the coolest thing I've ever done with my life at this point. Yeah. It was awesome.
Just following along was a trip in itself. I mean, every time you'd post a, hey, new state, it's like, holy shit. Literally just walked across the state.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I was actually driving back to Atlanta today from Virginia, and I drove through a lot of the towns that I hiked through, and it was just weird, driving through these towns and seeing these signs on the interstate for little towns in Tennessee and North Carolina, and be like, holy shit, I was in this town, and then I walked my happy ass all the way to Maine. What the hell? It's a weird thing to comprehend sometimes, but it's cool.
No, it's definitely badass, and my hat's off to you. Like I said, mine is, I have the crossing for the Appalachian Trail here in Front Royal.
Yeah.
Less than a mile from the house. And I will say I've not stepped foot on it yet. I'm slacking. I should.
Dude, you live a mile from it. Come on.
Yeah, I am a slacker. I will admit that right here publicly. But I will do it. And it will probably have to be after deer season. I'm not going to lie.
That's fair.
But I got to get on it. So throughout your hike, what section I'm going to say was your favorite? Because every time you'd get to a new area and you'd be like, oh, this is the coolest section ever. And then you'd get to another one and be like, no, this is the coolest.
Yeah, no. Okay. So originally my favorite up until that point had been the Grayson Highlands, which is in Virginia. And that's where the wild ponies are at. And when I was there, we got almost a foot of snow, and we got caught in snow with no winter gear and shorts because we were stupid and sent our winter gear home. That's a whole long story I won't get into, but that was my favorite part for a long time because just the ponies and the snow was super cool, and I was hiking with really good people, and it was awesome. And then then I got up to Vermont, and I just fell head over heels for Vermont. I was able to do kind of bigger mileage, 20 to 25 miles, almost every day through Vermont. I hiked it with my Maine hiking partner, Roman, and this other dude, OT, and the three of us were hiking together, whatever. And there's fire towers, you're climbing ski mountains. So Vermont was beautiful. Then I got to New Hampshire, and I was like, oh, fuck Vermont. New Hampshire's the shit. Because you get to go through the Whites, and you're on the presidentials, and these mountains are just oh, the views are absurd. And the climbs are really hard, but the views make it super worth it. The weather can be really crazy there. I'd never been to New Hampshire, so it was a whole new vibe. Then I got to Maine and was like, damn, this is creme de la creme. This is rugged. It's wild. It kicks your ass. And yeah, so if I have to answer the question in short, Maine was for sure my favorite state. And then the 100-mile wilderness, which is basically the last 100 miles of the trail. It's right before Katahdin. It's 100 miles of uninterrupted wilderness. So there's no paved roads. There's a few logging roads, but there's no paved roads. So you don't get these crowded trailheads. You got to carry, you're supposed to, there's a sign that says carry 10 days of supplies. Nobody fucking does that, but you carry, 5-6 days of food through it. And you're just in the fucking woods for 6 days straight. Really didn't have a ton of cell service, which I never really had cell service because I have T-Mobile and they suck. But there's ponds and lakes everywhere. So you can just stop to swim multiple times a day. And in Maine, there's loons everywhere. So you fall asleep every night to the sound of loons. And The stars are insane. It's just beautiful. And it's pretty flat, which is cool. Like, that's a nice change, because New Hampshire and southern Maine, you're just climbing and descending and climbing and descending, and you're just exhausted. Yeah, it is. And then you get to the end of Maine and it's like, hey, you just hiked 2,000 fucking miles. Here's some flat for you. Enjoy it. And while you're at it, here's some ponds and here's some loons and here's some crazy stars in the Milky Way. And like, I would re-hike. I would fucking live in the 100-mile wilderness if that was a thing. I'll figure it out how to make that a thing. But it was awesome.
To New England.
well, yeah. Trev, you noticed that she didn't say anything about Connecticut.
No, we don't talk about it.
Actually, no. There's actually a really good part of Connecticut.
No, there's not. You're lying.
Dude. Northern Connecticut is cool. Southern Connecticut... Not that awesome, but Northern Connecticut is cool. And there's a little part called Sages Ravine. So I don't know if you guys are ever in Connecticut. I don't know, but Sages Ravine.
I live in Connecticut.
Okay, I kind of figured because you said it was shit. But yeah, I don't know if you hike. I know you hunt, but if you ever do a day hike, go out to Sages Ravine. It's beautiful. There's like these swimming holes and they're crystal clear and ice cold.
What part of Connecticut is that?
Sages Ravine is right before the Massachusetts line. So it's like north Connecticut.
Yeah, so it's part of the Berkshires then.
Yes, the Berkshires. Yeah, which are beautiful as well.
They are actually gorgeous. It's probably the best part of Connecticut.
So, come on, Connecticut's got some good there.
It does.
We'll give you a little bit of credit.
Yeah, so Connecticut wasn't all that bad. But so Pennsylvania sucks. I can get into that later, but Pennsylvania, fuck that state. Yeah.
Sorry, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you suck. Go home. Yeah.
So what made you want to even hike the Appalachian Trail, though?
Okay, you want the long story or the short story?
Oh, give us whichever one you think is the best.
All right, I'll give you the long one then.
I love it.
So the first time I ever heard of the AT as a kid, my mom was super into the AT. And when you're a kid, I don't think you comprehend the fact of how far 2,200 miles is. It's just oh, that's a big number. Cool. And, so I was like, all right, there's this long trail people hike. Cool. Sweet, Mom. Then when I was in high school, I had to read this book called A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. Don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yep.
There's a funny story about Bill Bryson that goes along with this, but anyway, I had to read this book for a class in high school, and I was like, oh, this is that trail that my mom used to talk about. People actually walk from Georgia to Maine. This is absurd. So that's when I finally comprehended it. Then I started day hiking a lot after college. I don't really know what got me into hiking, but all of a sudden I was just hiking all the time in North Georgia by myself. And I was on a hike in the Smokies called Brushy Mountain with 3 people. And I was hiking in front of everyone and just hiking through the rhododendrons, having a great fucking time. And this view opens up and I was like, shit, dude, I'm going to hike the AT. Brushy Mountains were really close to the AT. And I was like, I'm going to hike the AT. I can do this. This would be really cool. I need a big goal to accomplish. I'm going to hike this in my lifetime. Well, then I was like, okay, you need to make a real goal. So I said, all right, I'm going to hike it before I turn 30. So I was like, this is doable. At the time when I decided this, I was 20, I don't know, probably 23. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do this before I turn 30. So then I said, all right, set a real date for it, make some goals, save the money, figure it out. So I chose 2020, thought it just had a nice ring to it. Little did I know a fucking pandemic's going to wreck everything. So I decided this 5 years ago, or set in stone. I decided this 3.5 years ago. And so started saving the money, all that shit, blah, blah, blah. And I think what really made me want to do this is I hear and see a lot of people have these awesome things they want to do, whether it's hiking a long trail or owning a boat or building their dream house or backpacking around Europe, whatever. And they're like, oh man, I'd love to do that one day. Maybe I'll do it after I retire, or after the kids graduate, or whenever the timing is perfect, And you're going to be dead one day. This is my whole premise that I live my life on, kind of, is you're going to be dead one day and you don't know what day that is. So you might not make it to retirement when you're going to go do all your big goals. So just go fucking do it right now. The timing is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be convenient. You're never going to have enough money saved up, but just go and do it. and then go from there. So that's kind of my whole thing on why I did it, is that you never know when you're going to be dead, and you might as well accomplish these goals like while you're full on living. So there's that long version of why I did it.
I love it.
I just spiraled. Sorry.
No, you're good. Hands down, that was probably the deepest insight we've probably had on the show. I ain't going to lie.
Oh, thanks, man.
I love it. That was fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
It's funny because a lot of people, like myself, live my life like that. Like
Don't do it, man. Why?
No. I'm saying live it like you do. Like just go do it. Like there's like no time better than tomorrow. Like that's what I think all the time.
Like I would meet all these people on trail and be like, man, that's so cool. I wish I could do that. I'm like, you can. Like, you're obviously on a mountain right now. I'm talking to you and we're both on a fucking mountain. Like, just go climb it every day for like 5-6 months. Who cares? Like, save up the money and go do it. If you really want to do it, go do it. And I just don't, people just, they do the retirement thing. Like, oh, I'll do it when I retire. I'm like, oh, you might fucking die tomorrow.
You are so right. So right.
Yeah.
You keep bouncing back to the whole point of like saving money. Like, what does it cost to do something like that? Like, I know that there's like obviously a lot of planning that goes involved with this and so on and so forth. But like, what does it actually cost, or what do you have to save to make this all happen? And why do you even need money? Because a lot of people will be thinking,
it's a good question. Yeah. Good question. Because you're like, oh, you're just living outside being a fucking hobo. Like, why do you need money? Well, everybody's budget is different. I am admittedly very bad with money, and I went way over my budget with this hike. But I had planned on, I saved more than I needed because I know the kind of person I am, but I planned on $6,000 because I planned on 6 months of being out there. And so I figured roughly $1,000 a month. So you have to pay for your food, which through hikers eat a shit ton of food. Granted, we eat really cheap food too, but it's still a lot. So you got to pay for food. You're going to want to come into town every few days to take a shower, do laundry, either stay at a hostel or a hotel or a motel. I spent more money this year because a lot of the hostels were closed due to COVID. So we were having to stay in motels, which are more expensive than a hostel would be.
Right.
And then you're hiking 2,200 miles. Like, some of your gear is going to shit out. Like, I went through 5 pairs of shoes. So you're going to have, and hiking shoes are not cheap. They're like, $130 a pair roughly. So you got to have money for extra gear if your gear fails. I had a little bit saved up for emergencies. Like, I had to go to the doctor twice on trail. So I had that saved up. And also you think about back home, like, I had to pay for my health insurance. I paid for my phone bill. Had to pay a credit card bill. So you still have, I think everybody has a few bills you got to pay that are, back home things. So yeah, you do have to spend money. And then, you're in town, and the next thing you know, you bought a fucking case of beer and you're like, shit, that was $20 I didn't plan on spending. And that happens more often than you think. So yeah,
unless someone leaves it on the trail for you.
Yeah. And that does happen sometimes. So that's really cool. And that is called trail magic. So yeah, most people, I think, save up around like $1,000 a month is what they would budget. But I know people that have spent $10,000 on their thru hike. I know people that have thru hike with, $3,000 to $4,000. I wish that I had stuck with my budget a little bit more, but I also wish that I had been on trail for a lot longer. So, it is what it is. It worked out. Yeah, but I definitely went hella over budget.
So with planning all this, like what does it entail to like plan? Like, cause do you like ship yourself stuff to like certain towns to have stuff like sent to you? Like, cause you hear about people going to like post offices or whatever, they have stuff shipped in.
Yeah. So some people do send themselves their food. Like the dude I ended up hiking, the majority, like over half of the end of the trail with, his name is Roman. He was like kind of my main hiking partner. He's a fucking bro. And he was originally hiking with his daughter, but him and his daughter had like almost all of their food sent to them, but she was vegan. So it's really, it's harder to eat vegan on trail. So, that's why they had their food sent to them. But then other people will just buy, at the gas station or the grocery store or whatever's in town. I had sent like 4 resupply boxes to myself, and I sent those to towns that I had heard had just like really shitty resupply options. And I ended up wishing I hadn't done that, because then you have to be at a post office at a certain time. And like, if you happen to get into that town on a Sunday, but the post office isn't open until Monday, well, then you got to hang around town and spend extra money, like waiting on your box. And then it just seems like a hassle to me. But I guess if you have a dietary restriction, it makes sense to send yourself your food. Some people say that it saves you money if you send yourself your food, but then you still have like the postage that you have to pay, which can be like $20 to mail a box. So I don't know. I just mainly got my food resupplies from like gas stations, grocery stores, Dollar General, whatever. And then I did have some gear sent to me, so I would have to go to a post office every now and then to pick up a piece of gear or mail stuff home, like when you're mailing winter stuff home or getting summer stuff sent to you. So that's how you deal with food. That's
crazy. So what is it? So what did you have to do? Like, how long did it take you to plan? Like, I know that it's like, like what were some of the steps that you had to take to like kind of like plan yourself through this? Because you can, there's a lot of things that go into it, obviously.
Yeah. So, I feel like I didn't really do a lot of planning.
Just kind of winged it.
It depends on your knowledge background, I suppose. Like I've been like religiously hiking since like 2015. So I have like 5 years of day hiking and backpacking under my belt, and I kind of know what I'm doing. I know gear, like I understand gear pretty well. So I didn't do like I did some gear research, but like not a ton. I would go out I went out on a few shakedown hikes where you just like go out and try out your gear and make sure it's what you like in different weather conditions, whatever. And then, those like 4 or 5 resupply boxes I made, like I had to go out and, buy that stuff and package that up. And then, I don't know. For me, there like wasn't a lot of planning involved. Some people there is. I think mine was just like 3.5 years of me being like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to fucking happen. Can it just be 2020 already?
So you had already had the anticipation and knew what you were getting yourself into. And
yeah. I knew what I was getting myself into. And I didn't have like a lot of loose ends to tie up at home. Like I didn't have to like sell my house or like sublease my apartment or sell my car, like any of that stuff. Like some people, sell all their shit and pack up their lives, and that would be really stressful. And I didn't have to do any of that, fortunately. So this is a horrible answer, but I didn't really have a ton of planning. I was just here's my pack, here's my gear, throw my gear together, and then just sit on my floor and stare at the wall until February 22nd, 2020.
So the best memories I have are spontaneous. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like, other than, you had your set date and you'd done some preparation, but a lot of this was kind of spontaneous as to just, you went and did it.
Yeah, as far as planning, like you can try and plan your miles and where you want to be, but like that's all going to fall apart. Like I made a rough plan for my first 2 weeks of my hike of how many miles I was going to do that day and what shelter I was going to end up at. That is so stupid. Do not do that. Like what a waste of fucking time, because you might be like, yeah, I'm going to hike 15 miles and go to this shelter this day. But then you might meet someone really cool that's like, I'm going to this shelter. Like, you want to go there and hang? It's like, oh yeah, I do want to do that. Or you have this mileage plan to get to shelter B, but then someone's like, hey, we're popping into town to go eat a burger and get a beer. You want to go? It's like, fuck yeah, I want to go eat a burger and beer instead of be on trail right now. Let's go. So yeah, planning your mileage is like, unless you have to be somewhere at a certain time, I wouldn't really do that too much. Like I would maybe plan like 3 or 4 days at a time and go from there. But I don't think I stuck to it too strictly. Maybe there were some parts of my hike where I stuck to it pretty strictly, but for the most part, I think I was pretty chill about it.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was asking. Like as far as planning, also, like do you have to certainly go like 20 miles a day to get to your next destination or whatever the case may be?
No, so I am I love shelters. I will sleep in a shelter every night if it's an option. So there's shelters along the trail. I think they try to stay on average. They're like every 8 miles. I don't think that's true for the whole trail. But they're just a, 3-sided with, wooden shelter with a roof. And some of them are really cool. Some of them are really shit. Tennessee. But there's some really cool ones that like I would spend a fucking week at if I really had thought about it, I guess. So yeah, I would look at like what shelters were coming up in the mileage, and I would, I think when I added everything up, I averaged like 16 a day on the days I was hiking. So I would try to find something usually that was like 20 miles away and like go for that. And then if I got there, cool. Once I hiked with a big trail family for a while, and we all would end up at the same place every day. But then after I separated from them, it was kind of like wherever we end up is cool with me. So yeah, I would plan my mileage like the night before and be like, okay, where am I going tomorrow? And then stick with that. And then it'd be like, and then the next 3 days I'll do this, and then I'll end up in this town on this day, and I can do a resupply and get more food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you did this all on your own? This whole entire trip? Like, not on your own,
way.
but like you didn't go in with like a friend or anything, like you.
Yeah, no, I started this. Yeah, this was a solo move, which is a story in itself. Kind of a sad, fucked up one, but on my behalf. Yeah, I did this solo, and then I met on the second day of my hike, I met a dude named Griff who ended up being like my bestie on the trail for a bit. We hiked almost like 1,200 miles of the trail together with some other people that were our trail family. I met a girl named Proper on day 2 as well. And me, Griff, Proper, and this dude Overkill were kind of like a trail family for a while. And a trail family is like people that you like group up with and like you're just tight with, and you end up hiking together pretty much. So yeah, like you meet people. Normally there's a lot more people out there, but because of COVID, a lot of people got off trail. Long story. But yeah, there's people out there. You meet really cool people. And then I hiked from like middle of Pennsylvania all the way through Maine with Roman. And me and Roman met different people along the way that we'd hike with and camp with. And it's cool. But yeah, I started this solo, so I can make my own decisions and do whatever the hell I wanted, which is what I wanted out of this trail. Like I didn't want to have to worry about how far someone else wanted to hike that day. I didn't want to worry about if someone didn't want to go into town, or if they did want to go into this town that I didn't want to go into. I wanted to be able to call the shots, which was cool. But I also like, now knowing what I know now, I think it would be really cool to hike this with a friend, like a best friend. I hiked with a few people that were hiking it with like their best friends or partners, and they were having a good ass time. I was like, shit, that would be so cool to like hike this with my best friend, or my brother. Like, I think it would be really cool to do it through hike with my brother. But I did do this as a solo thing, and I'm glad I did, because I needed to, I don't know. I think I needed to like prove to myself that I could do this without being dependent on somebody else, I guess.
No, that makes sense.
I don't know, some like female pride thing. I don't know. Yeah, I can't explain it.
You can definitely have that. We'll give you that for sure.
I guess so.
So yeah, one thing we wanted to kind of look at, because like I told you in the past, I give you the vote for like best time spent during COVID. Because in our, from an outsider's point of view, it's like, the world's gone to shit. I would rather be out there doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there were some nuances out on the trail with COVID that kind of affected some of that stuff. What did you have to deal with that? For
sure. I just want to say one thing that this lady just pissed me off. We were in New York, and these two ladies were day hiking, and they're like, "Oh, how's your hike going?" We're like, "Yeah, it's good." They're like, "Where are you going?" And we're like, "We're going to Maine." They're like, "What?" We said, "Yeah, we're like hiking in Maine. We started in Georgia." And she was like, "Wow, you like picked the best time to hike this trail. So like you're out here because of COVID." And we're like, "No, like we started before COVID, and COVID has kind of like fucked with our hike. Like, do you want me to get into it, or do you want to just like keep day hiking and like let me be angry about this?" And it's like people just like didn't understand like how much COVID affected our hike, dude. So February 22nd start, whatever, we're hiking. March, the first time I heard about COVID, we were in the Smokies, which is like around mile 200. So, we're like 3 weeks into it. Heard about COVID. Cool. There's whatever, didn't think it was that big of a deal. Go back into the woods. Then we're like somewhere around Tennessee and North Carolina, and it's like serious. Like even my mom was texting me, was like, yo, there's a fucking pandemic. Like this is real. Like, oh, okay. So we start reading the news, listening to stuff. Like our friends that are like in town with cell service are like, telling us all these crazy things about COVID, whatever. And so then basically what happens with the trail this year is the ATC, which is the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, they like kind of govern the trail, sort of. They don't have any real like power per se, but they kind of govern it. So they send out an email basically saying, hey, like everyone that's on the trail right now, you need to get off trail. Like, please cancel your through hike. If you're not on trail yet, postpone your through hike. They kind of were like, hey, trail's closed, go home. And
what a dick move.
Thank you. So I understand the reason. Basically, the reason was like, okay, we've got they had estimated, I think, that there was going to be 4,500 through hike attempts this year. So, sorry. So you've got, if you think about it, then you've got 4,500 people that are passing through these little mountain towns that are usually low income. They don't have as good healthcare as big cities. These tiny mountain towns are usually elderly population, which are more susceptible to getting sick. So part of me understands it. You don't want all these people in these little towns. But we went into some of these little towns, and like those people weren't taking it seriously. Like no masks, no gloves, no social distancing. Whereas like the hikers were wearing the masks and social distancing and like being smart. But like the people in town weren't even doing it. So it's like they're like, we're being respectful. Like they're not even respecting their own fucking town in the pandemic. So what do you want us to do? So anyway, a ton of people did get off trail and like they went home, and then it was like a ghost town. Like in Virginia, me and my trail family, I think there was like 9 of us all together. For like a long while, we didn't see like other through hikers. We didn't see day hikers. We didn't see section hikers. Like it was only us that we saw on trail. So in one sense, that's kind of a quarantine, I guess. Like we're all together all the time and we don't see other people, but that also sucks. Like me personally, I was out there for multiple reasons, but a social aspect was part of it. Like, yeah, I want to meet cool fucking people on the trail and hang with people and like have beers in town and like have late nights at shelters where everyone's hanging around a fire, telling stories about life. And like, you didn't get a ton of that this year because there weren't a lot of people out there. So that is what sucked to me. And I don't want to sound like entitled and selfish, because I know there's a pandemic and people really have died and like this is really serious. But I do answer the question from my perspective of it. So the social aspect sucked because so many people went home and there just weren't a lot of people on trail. And then you go into town and you want to sit at a bar and like have a beer and talk to locals, and you can't do that because the bars are closed and the restaurants are closed and they're only doing takeout and the locals are, not out. And so you missed out on a lot this year, and I really want to hike it again. I want to through hike it again and get the actual social experience. So I think I'll rehike it one day for that purpose. Mark my words, I will skip the whole fucking state of Pennsylvania. But that's another story.
What is the hate on Pennsylvania? I guess you might as well just answer that.
You got to clarify that.
Okay. Southern Pennsylvania is like not that bad, but Pennsylvania is like notorious for just having a shit ton of rocks, and they're like just sharp, jagged, pointy rocks everywhere. Like you cannot put your foot flat on soil. Like you're always on these jagged, pointy rocks, and they just like trip you up. Like as soon as you'll get a rhythm, you'll trip on one and you'll fall, and it's just painful. And it's just like there's just like an ugly state, in my opinion. I thought it was pretty flat, but then some of my trail friends were like, no, dude, there's like climbs in Pennsylvania. Do you not remember this? I'm like, no, I really don't. I was so miserable from the rocks that I just like blacked out for the whole state, I guess. And I don't remember the climbs. And it's like really dry. Like the water sources are crappy. And it's just really painful. Like the rocks hurt your feet. Like the soles of my feet were legitimately bruised. Like I had blue bruises on the soles of my feet from the rocks. And then I just had fucking had enough. Like I had this day on trail. It was my worst day on trail. I threw my trekking poles on the ground. I threw my pack off and I sat in the rocks and just started bawling. I was like, this is horrid. I'm going home. Like, I'm over it. I got on my phone. I started looking at flights to go home. And I was like, all right, Dirt Nap, like, collect yourself, bitch. Like, come on. You're a grown woman. You can do this. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to a hotel. I'm going to eat some real food, take a bath, calm down. So I went to a hotel that night, ended up taking a 0 the next day. A 0 is where you don't hike at all. Like, you just fucking chill. You stay put. So I went to the hotel, took a 0 the next day, bought new shoes. Thank you, Cabela's. I bought some fucking boots, which like most people don't hike in boots anymore. A lot of thru hikers hike in trail runners, but I was like, screw this. I'm getting boots so I can have like pillows on my feet. And those boots actually made it all the way to Katahdin. I got almost 1,000 miles on them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just had like a physical, emotional breakdown in Pennsylvania. And the day that I crossed the fucking bridge, getting out of Pennsylvania, going to New Jersey, I just like held my middle finger up towards Pennsylvania and like kept walking to Jersey, like never looked back. And yeah, like I'm sure this sounds so dramatic, but I never want to go back to Pennsylvania.
I completely get it. I remember watching the thread of your post, and it's like you hit Pennsylvania and you're like, yay, another state. And then it just kind of went dead. And then it was also, just like, screw this place.
Yeah. And also Pennsylvania is really long. It's like, I think it's at least 200 miles. Maybe not quite, but anyways, I thought I was only going to be there for like 10 days. I ended up being there for like 14 or 15 days because I was just in so much pain. Like I just couldn't hike. And that's where I lost my trail family too, because I took that 0 and I was in so much pain. And then like in my head, I was like, oh, I'll catch up to them. But they were still hiking, like 20 to 25 miles where I could only do like 15 because my feet were hurting so bad.
Right.
I hiked my longest day in Pennsylvania, which is 30 miles. Which is the stupidest state to hike that in because it hurts. And I was like kind of mad at my trail family for even wanting to hike that long in a state that sucks so much on like terrain that's painful. And like looking back on it, like I could have said no and just like not hike that, but you know, I wanted to stay with them. And so yeah, it's just painful and like it's just painful and the water sucks and it's long. And then, we were there in May. On May 9th, it snowed. Like, right. I'm from Georgia. Like, why the fuck is it snowing in May? I don't understand that.
Welcome to the North.
Yeah, and we were passing this really cool swimming hole with a rope swing that, like, I've always been excited about during my thru hike. I'm like, cool, I can't wait to get that rope swing in Pennsylvania. It's fucking snowing, so I can't even do the rope swing I've been stoked about for months. And it just, it was not the move. Not the move. So Crazy. That's my Pennsylvania hatred explained.
Welcome to New England. Yeah. New England's one of those states like you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes and it will change. That's what we say all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. In New Hampshire, we were up on this ridge, and one of my biggest fears for the whole trail is lightning. I just like don't fuck with lightning. Oh yeah. And we were up on this ridge, and I know that like lightning can like storms can pop in really fast. It's like beautiful, blue sky, sun shining, everything's great. Like literally 10 minutes later, we see these huge ass clouds building in the distance, and like we feel the wind start picking up, and me and Roman are both like, oh hell no! Like we're up on this ridge, we still have a few miles till we can get below tree line, and then like the wind just starts like whipping, the clouds are like moving in super fast. It starts lightning, and yeah, it just changes really fast. It's crazy. And then that night, it was clear skies, beautiful, like great temperatures. It's wild.
So was there like some things that on the trail that you had to overcome, like as yourself, like in yourself?
Oh dear God, yeah. I'm like not even the same person that was at Springer Mountain. Oh dude, it's such an emotional like purge, I think. I was dealing with dealing with a lot of negative family issues before my hike, and so a lot of like resentment and anger, and I had some come to Jesus meetings on some rocks with myself about that, and just had to let go of those things and let go of resentment and just let it roll off your shoulders and leave it in that state and keep hiking to the next one. I was dealing with dealing with a breakup. So I had, went through that. Dealing with, I deal with depression and anxiety. So I was, kind of seeing how that's affected when I'm being physically active all day, every day, and being out in the woods instead of being, around traffic and cities and towns and buildings and all that shit. And then the biggest thing, I was actually just talking with my friend when I was getting beers before this about how I was so excited to do this by myself and have alone time, be walking through the woods by myself and having a find myself thing, whatever. And fuck that, dude. I realized that I'm an extrovert. I want people around. I just want to be super social. And I had to learn how to actually be alone and be cool with it. I remember the first day that I hiked completely alone. I hiked around mile 400. I hiked 18.4 miles by myself, and that was that was a long day for me at that point, I guess. And I hiked the whole thing by myself, and I was just kind of going crazy, not having anyone to talk to, or not having anyone to stop and take a snack break or a water break with. I was like, damn, this is fucking lonely. This is stupid. And then that night is when I really met Roman for the first time. And then I kind of got good with my trail family after that. And then when me and Roman were hiking, we kind of got into a pattern where we would hike separate from each other, but we would meet up sometimes for breaks in the middle of the day, or for breaks, or at the shelter at the end of the day, we'd meet up, obviously. But it got to the point where I could hike 20 to 25 mile days, all by myself and have a fucking party. I never, in February, that was not me. I couldn't do, I day hike at home by myself, but I also always have my dog with me. So I at least have another soul there, you can feel another presence, right? And you get to go home to your family at the end of the day, and you get to you have cell service, probably. So but when you're out there in the woods and you don't get to go home to your creature comforts, you're just gonna be in your tent or in the shelter, being alone. I really learned how to hike alone, and I fucking love it now. I want to go hike a 25 mile day by myself right now. That sounds really fun. Whereas in February, fuck that. I would not want to do that. It makes me sound like a lunatic because I just told you I'm an extrovert and I like people, but then I'm hey, I want to hike alone for all day long. But it makes sense in my head. It makes no sense coming out though.
No, I totally get it. That was one of the first things I asked you when you finished. I said, what's it like being off the trail? And you just said, I just want to be back on the trail.
Oh yeah. I think that's a general theme with all the people I know that are off trail now. Most people are yo, I just want to fucking be on trail. There was a day, I don't know, I did a gear post about what I was carrying now, and I had blown up my sleeping pad, and I just laid on my sleeping pad for an hour in my living room just staring at the ceiling, and just the smell of my sleeping pad and the smell of my quilt brought me back to the trail. And my bed is right there, a nice queen bed with a nice fucking mattress. And I'm I would rather lay on my sleeping pad on my floor right now. And I would rather eat trail food than this dope ass meal right now. Or I would rather just keep wearing my hiking clothes than wear these clothes in my closet. And being off trail, it's super, it's weird. It's really weird. But there's some things I absolutely love. like I said, like I kind of sometimes love that I don't have to wake up and hike every day, or like if my body hurts, it's okay. I can just like sleep in and like hurt in a bed instead of hurt in a shelter, or you know what I mean?
Oh no,
Also,
I completely
like,
get it.
Also, showers are super cool. Like I can shower whenever I want. That's nice.
Yeah.
Always being in dry clothes is really cool too.
So I got to ask, and this is something I went through. So I did 2 years overseas in a couple of different places, and it was a similar scenario. You were sleeping in mud holes, middle of nowhere. If you were lucky, you had a mat, and you got a shower every once and now and again. Mm-hmm. So now that you're home, my thing was now I can get in a shower and I will just sit and enjoy the shower and go, I'm not taking this for granted. And I find myself doing that. I wanted to see if you kind of find yourself in that situation where it's like, oh, these are things that, yeah, I'm going to sit here and take an extra few minutes and just enjoy.
I think I do that with like sitting. Like I just I don't know, like when I sit this sounds so dumb, but like
no, it's perfect.
When I like sit in a chair, I'm like, I'm not on the ground. This is neat. Like there's chairs in the real world. That's cool. I don't know. Like sitting's just kind of nice. And like, I don't have to like get up and walk. Like I can just sit here for 5 fucking hours and be a bum. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
And, cooking, I do like that I can cook anytime because I really miss, produce. Like fresh produce is awesome. I really craved fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, like raw veggies and cooking on trail. So
I can imagine.
Yeah. So that's like, I've been like living off of salad for the past week and like cooking like actual breakfast and having like cold milk in my cereal in the morning. And so I think food is the thing I'm enjoying the most right now, which is kind of bad because I still have my hiker hunger and I just want to eat all fucking day.
Right.
But I'm not hiking 25 miles a day anymore. So I'm probably gonna get pretty thick pretty soon here.
You'll be good. As much as you keep moving, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of like,
yeah, go ahead, Trev. I think we're on the same path.
Yeah, no, because I kind of want to know like what it was like to, or what was a day's meals. Like, what did you actually eat? Like, what did you carry? Because I know like you're talking about like produce, not having produce and stuff. So I'm thinking like, fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, man, it does, Trev. So, at the beginning of the hike, when it was really cold, me and Proper, the girl I hiked, like, so I think we hiked 16 or 17 days together, but she went home. She's from...
Time out. Why do you call her Proper? Because I need to know these trail names.
I wanted to ask too.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, we have all these trail names. I want to know what the fuck, why? Because like,
dude, I can tell you there's some fucking funny trail names. I can give you a list.
All right, let's just go through some. I want to know some trail names, and I want to know why they're called trail names, and then we'll go back to the food because I really don't care about food, but I
care about food.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm more interested in trail names than I am with the food, but I do want to know what the food is. But
okay, so Proper. Proper's this chick from the Netherlands, and she speaks really great English. She has an accent, but really good English. But I noticed that she switches the word. I think it's the word actually. She replaces that for the word proper. So if she would be like, "Yo, we smell like we should take a proper shower," instead of like saying an actual shower, or like, "We've been eating just tuna. We should eat a proper meal." So we just ended up, I named her Proper. So that's how Proper got her name. 2 dudes in my trail family have like 2 of the best trail names I've ever heard. One of them is Nasty Noodle. I don't remember Nasty's story. I think it was something about like ramen and someone said something funny and he like spit out ramen or something. I don't know. And then this other dude, his trail name was Piss Coon. Which I think comes from he hammocked and I guess he can like piss out of his hammock. So it's like a piss cocoon. And then he got shortened to Piss Coon. And then there was like kids. I don't think he was my trail fan, but we hiked around him a lot. His trail name was Shit Watergate. There's some other fun fucking names.
I have a buddy that's his trail name was Bear Balls.
Bear Balls, that's good. Do you know how I got it?
Yeah, because he something about shaving his balls, so it didn't.
Oh God.
Or no, I think that he shaved him, but that actually would like chafe too much or something, and he
Yeah,
totally
I
had
can
this.
imagine.
Yeah, he had some crazy problem with that because he thought that it was going to be smart, and then it really
No.
wasn't when he got on the trail. And
You
he really
can't
had a
go
lot of
bare out there.
problems.
Like you will chafe in places you do not want to chafe.
And that's
You
what
just-
happened, and
you just
he had
gotta
a
go
lot
on
of
that
struggling. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other like shit. Who else had a good? Oh, I met this dude in Maine, and his trail name is Eager Beaver. I liked that. And then the day after I met him, I saw my first beaver on trail, so that was cool. Like the animal, a beaver. Clarify that one.
Why was Roman called Roman?
Oh, it's Roman.
Roman.
Because all he fucking talks about is rowing. Like, technically it's sculling, but like those long boats and they row.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know anything about rowing, but I can now tell you a lot about rowing because we hiked a lot of miles together and he talks about rowing a lot.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
He is Roman. His daughter is Pepper. I think she carried like a lot of seasonings for her food or something. Scooby got her name because something about there was a stray dog on trail and she let it sleep in her tent. And then Boogie, I think she blows a lot of snot rockets or something. And Boogie, and then Griff, my OG hiking partner, it's actually Gryffindor, but he's from Griffin, Georgia, and someone asked him, where are you from? And he has a real thick southern accent. He said, I'm from Griffin, Georgia. And they said, did you just say Gryffindor? And he's like, no, Griffin, Georgia.
That makes sense.
And then he just got shortened to Griff. And then, damn, who else did I hike with? I feel like I'm forgetting people. Oh, Villain. I actually have no clue how Villain got his trail name. I never asked. Yeah, so I don't know, there's some good trail names out there.
What's the weirdest thing that you've encountered while on the trail? You laughed, so what was that?
I have a story about a trail angel. Who is a very interesting character. But I don't want to tell the story because I don't know if he's going to end up listening to this. So I don't want to tell the story.
All right.
The weirdest thing. There's so much weird shit. We're hikers that live in the woods, dude. The whole thing's weird. Maybe it's like how like comfortable you get with people. I don't know. Like,
That's the way it should be.
yeah, like the first, and like how quickly you get comfortable. Like I remember one night, I was camped like right by Overkill, and he's a dude. And this is still in Georgia, so probably like day 3 or 4. And he's just setting up his tent, and I had to take a shit, and it was just like coming on strong. And like I just like took a shit like 10 feet from him, like while having a conversation. And it's just like those weird things, and it was just like normal. Like he was like, yeah, cool, whatever. And there's just like weird, I don't know, a fucking old dude that was like 60, like asked me if I wanted to like cuddle in a shelter one night. That was really weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's like good weird and there's bad weird. Like that's bad weird, you know?
No, I fully understand that.
Yeah.
Like old wrinkly balls. I just couldn't.
Yeah, like I don't want your old wrinkly balls on me, you old man. Like, get away.
Trev
Fuck.
went there.
Thank you, Trev. That's the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking of all I could think of. What was that movie? Adam Sandler.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Yeah. Old wrinkly balls.
Old wrinkly balls.
That's all I could think about when you said that.
Yeah.
No, it makes me laugh because you were going that direction.
Oh,
and
I can tell you a weird thing.
Oh, go ahead. Let it go.
I don't even know this person, so I can tell the story. Actually, this happened twice, and I don't remember either of these people. This happened 2 times. A dude like took my picture inconspicuously without like wanting me to know, without telling me or asking me. One of them, he took it like between some like tree branches. And I like heard the camera click and I was like, did you just take my picture? And he was like, yeah, I did. I was like,
yeah, that's not
like,
creepy.
I was like, what are you going to do with it? Like, why? And he was like, I just take pictures of hikers. And I was like, okay, well, like you should probably ask, especially if it's like a female. Like, that's kind of weird.
That's kind of odd.
And he ended up doing it to Scooby and Boogie too. Like he took their pictures of them, like, without asking. And then another time on a beach in Maine, shit happened again. Like, I was hiking with this dude, Whiskey, and these two section hikers walked up, and like, we had been like swimming in this pond in this lake, but like I had my clothes on, but like my clothes were wet because it was pouring down rain, or it had been. And I know this dude just like walked up and had his phone like held at his waist, but like it was angled towards me.
Right.
And like I noticed it, but I didn't say anything because I was like, I don't know, maybe he's just holding it weird. And then I realized he took a picture, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't say anything. I just hiked on. Then like a couple days later, I was at a hostel, and that dude was there, and he was like, hey, I met you. I took your picture. Do you want to see it? And I was like, sure. Like, yeah, okay. And he showed it to me. And then he was like, he took the phone back and started passing it around to everybody in the room, like showing them this picture he took of me. And I was like, dude, that's like kind of weird. Like that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Yeah, like why the fuck would you do that? So
that's one thing I wanted to ask you. So here in Front Royal, we have a lot of hikers come through, as you did. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, when they come in, they tend to come into town, and they'll come into the gun shops or the outdoor shops, and they'll be looking for knives or, things for the trail. But it's not uncommon for people to come in and say, hey, we want something for some kind of self-defense. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you, do you feel like that was really something that you wanted to prepare for, or always had running through your mind while you're out there in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of people?
So like originally, I actually I did toy with the idea of carrying my gun. I carry when I day hike in Georgia. I always hike with my gun.
Yes.
I always hike with my dog. My dog's like 100-pound big dog. Like he's intimidating if you fuck with me. And that's how I hike in Georgia. But on a through hike, it sounds stupid, but like, I don't know, weight's a thing, it's 2 extra pounds in your pack. It's a little bulky. There's no really, for a female, and when you have a hip belt on your pack, there's no really comfortable way to carry it. And then I just got to the point where I was like, this is ludicrous. Like, no, I'm not carrying a gun on the trail. Like, there's a lot of people out there. When you link up with hikers as a chick, like dudes are protective of you. Like they become kind of like brothers to you, and like they don't, they're not going to let people fuck with you. Like Griff was basically like a dad on trail to me. Like Griff would never let anything bad happen to me. And same with Roman. So, one of my best friends, she was like adamant that I carried pepper spray. So I did carry a little thing of pepper spray like my entire hike. Never once used it. Never once felt like I needed to use it. I did carry a knife. That was more for like, cutting things.
Right.
Like cheese,
everyday use.
Basically.
Yeah.
Not humans.
Not humans, but like, if it comes to that, like it was, the blade is, I don't know, a couple inches. Like you can slit a throat if you have to, I guess.
It's enough to shank someone.
It's enough to shank a bitch. So anyway, yeah, I carried my knife and my pepper spray. If I, do it again, I always have my knife, but probably wouldn't carry the pepper spray. I don't know. The only other use for that, I guess, would be like for a bear, which black bears don't give a shit. Like,
right.
I don't think I would ever even use pepper spray on a black bear, I guess. So
you really got to screw up to get a black bear to come at you. It's like a you between the sow and cubs situation.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. Yeah, all the black bears that I encountered, like, you just sing them a song and they run away. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'd be more worried about moose with calves than I would bears with cubs.
Yeah, I only saw one moose and I was in a car, so that was anticlimactic. But I did scream in excitement because I was very happy. But yeah, as far as protection goes, he wasn't really worried about that. And I'm also like I'm a very assertive female. Like if you're fucking with me and it's making me mad, like I'm going to tell you that. And if you're making me uncomfortable, I'm usually going to tell you that. So like come at me and see what happens is kind of my attitude.
Nice. I love it.
How is she going to be? You're going to be a scared little bitch? No, you fucking go after her.
Hell yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Well said.
Trav, why are you laughing at me?
No, it's just funny.
She straight called your ass out.
I called your ass out.
It's all good. No, I think it's just good that you're like that, just and obviously you are because you did the whole AT by yourself. You decided that it was a good idea, It's a good thing, man, and it puts out a good perspective for a lot of the women out there.
Because, like, there's so many women. They're like, oh, I'm just like I'm scared and blah 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 blah. If you look at the statistics of the AT, and day hiking in general, like there have been murders on the AT. There was a murder on the AT last year, but before that, I think it'd been like probably like over a decade or so since there was a murder. So if you're like, I want to go hike, but I think I'm going to get raped and murdered, it's not very likely. Like, sure, it can happen, and it has happened, but the likelihood, no. Like, I would rather hike in the dark on the AT alone than go walk on a street in some areas of Atlanta.
Oh, absolutely.
On a Tuesday night, so
100%.
Yeah. I'm like, put me in the fucking woods, like get me out of town. So for women that are scared of hiking alone, fuck that. Like, go out there and hike. Be smart about it. Like, know where you're going. Have some kind of GPS. Like, know how to hike. Tell somebody where you're going. Like, somebody that, you trust, and tell them what time you expect to be back. But don't be scared. Like, it's not a dude's world anymore. Like, get in the fucking woods. Go be a badass woman. That's how I feel about that. So
hell yes.
I think it's really huge that you say it like that too, because like obviously like, so for our industry, the hunting and fishing industry, is that like it's a woman industry now. I mean, it's growing to be that, and the outdoors is, and it's good, because I think a lot of women are starting to realize that, that they can do these things, that it's not a man's world when it comes to the outdoors. Like, you can do it. I mean, obviously we have our huntresses, which are Instagram famous people who like are fucking stupid and whatever.
There's hikers like that too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like trying to look good and so on and so forth. And
like you'll see those Instagram pictures of like some chick on a mountaintop with her fucking hair done, and she's wearing a sports bra and tight leggings. And it's like, okay, if you really were like hiking this fucking mountain hard, like your hair wouldn't look that good. Your makeup wouldn't even fucking be on, and you'd be sweating. Like your spray tan would probably be dripping or something. So
that's what I was thinking about.
There's those people, there's those people in every industry. But like, I'm not saying you can't look good while you hike. Like, you can. I don't know how to fucking do it, but like there are chicks that look really good while they hike. Power to you. But also, like, I don't know you guys, but I'm sure you don't talk like this, but like just for people listening, just like be aware of the way that you talk to women when you see them doing things that you might think is a man's thing. Like a chick on trail, she's still on trail right now, but she hikes with her hiking partner that she met on trail is a guy, and I guess they met a couple, and the couple asked the guy hiker, like, well, how did you convince her to come out here and do this? And it's like, hell no, like this is her through hike. Like, she came out here on her own to do this. Like, he didn't convince her to get out of the fucking kitchen and come out in the woods with him, Like, don't say shit like that. Like, women can do anything. It just drives me crazy, some people. But yeah, just be aware of like the way that you ask questions to women. Like people would, be like, oh, you're hiking this by yourself? You're not hiking this with your husband? I'm like, first of all, I don't have a husband. Yes, I'm hiking this by myself. Or like, well, what do your parents think of you hiking this alone as a female? It's like, why wouldn't you ask a 27-year-old dude that? Like, just let me do my thing. Okay.
Steve, you know who she reminds me of? Caitlin.
That this whole time I've been thinking that in my head.
I fuck with Caitlin. I bet she's cool.
Yeah, no, Caitlin's a badass chick. So we actually had her on a podcast, and she's a woman hunter, and she's fucking badass, and she's just like you, like just like self-inspired. Just go out, do it, no matter what. Don't let anyone tell you any different, and like will not take no for an answer, and will not hunt with other people. Like, just does it on her own. Like, just goes out there, and she's just a badass chick, and she's just like you. And to have like a group of people like that, and women that are for other women to look up to is huge. I mean, it's very empowering. It's empowering to me.
Aw, thanks, man.
No, no, it's just cool.
I'm just here to build you up.
Yeah.
Trev, she can teach you all about being a strong woman.
Trev, you are a strong, independent woman. All right.
Oh, you just told the 280-pound man that. No,
Trev, you don't need no man, okay?
Oh my goodness, Jackie, you are the bomb. Oh,
I think it's
great.
so cool. I know we really didn't get into the whole aspect of like what that actually entails, like the food and so on and so forth, which doesn't matter. I think you know, it's all right though. You know, it really is. But like, as far as like, as that goes, like there's a lot of things that like change obviously when you're on the trail, like your protein and so on and so forth, obviously. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I guess that's more of your planning, because I know people are going to ask, you know, or they're obviously thinking in their head, like, what the fuck is it like? Like, you obviously just can't go out there and just do it. You got to obviously diet different.
Yeah. Do you want me to talk about food?
Yeah. If you want to for a second. I mean,
yeah,
for sure.
I don't want to take up all your time.
No, we got plenty of time.
Cool, me too. I'm just like sitting in my car. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So food, like, cheap, lightweight. You try to be, and like a lot of it high calories. A lot of it's junk food. A lot of it's fucking garbage. Like if you sit around and eat this stuff at home, you're gonna get fat as hell. But on trail, you're still losing weight, honestly. As for protein, I ate a lot of tuna packets, like so many tuna packets.
Oh yeah.
When it was cold, I would eat like those summer sausages, you know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would never eat this shit in real life. Beef jerky sometimes, but that shit is hella expensive. Like meat sticks, like little Slim Jim thingies. What else I eat for protein?
So all the shit that you wouldn't eat normally, that you're like, oh, I can't eat that, I'm going to gain so much weight. You were just like engulfing it.
Or I just think it's gross. Like I would never really eat tuna packets at home. I do eat I eat salmon packets when I camp. Like there's this really good like mango chipotle one I always eat when I camp, but I don't really like fuck with tuna packets. This shit's gross.
They're just like tuna, like they make like the ranch ones and the lemon pepper.
Yeah. There's some really good, like there's like a spicy Thai chili one that's really good. There's some barbecue ones that are dope. So I ate tuna packets for a really long time. And then I got norovirus, which is basically like you just shit and puke for 24 hours and it's aggressive and it sucks. And then, you know, if you watch yourself puke up tuna packets, you're like, wow, no more tuna for a long time.
Right.
But then I actually was able to start eating tuna again, like around like Vermont or so. I started eating it again. A lot of tortillas because they're like high carb, but they're really heavy. But I can't even look at a tortilla now. Like I'm over tortillas for now. It's gonna be a minute before I can like enjoy tacos, which really upsets me. I'll be okay. My favorite trail thing, which a lot of people agree with, is Snickers bars. Like through hikers just like fucking live for Snickers bars. I always pack out Doritos. It's my favorite chip. The purple bag. It's like the Thai. It's like the sweet spicy chili. Yeah, yes, those are so good. Yeah, I always have Doritos.
This is not what I expected for somebody that was on the trail to be eating. Dude, not at all. Not even.
It gets worse.
The calorie count has to be up there.
Yeah, it's calories. A lot of bars, like a lot of people eat Cliff Bars. I hate Cliff Bars, but we would eat a lot of called like Lara bars.
This is all the shit that I live on every day.
RX bar. Hey man, you should go through hike, dude. Yeah, like RX bars. Lenny and Larry's, the complete cookies. Do you eat those?
No, so those are like the keto diet. Yeah.
Are they keto? I don't know. They're vegan.
They are keto.
They're 420 calories for one cookie. And they're like actually really, really good. And they have 16 grams of protein in one cookie. It's a chocolate chip cookie. It's amazing. I would always pack out chocolate chip cookies because that's my favorite thing in the entire world. So I'd get like some good fresh baked cookies from like a bakery somewhere. New York and New Jersey, it's like kind of a thing called deli blazing. So there's just like delis everywhere. So you can literally eat like deli sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So for like a week straight, me and Roman were like hitting every fucking deli. So you can like really pack out food. Like one time we were in town and I cooked spaghetti at a hostel. I fucking packed that shit out in a gallon Ziploc bag and I had spaghetti on trail for lunch and dinner.
Hell yeah.
Pack out pizza in Ziploc bags from town. Like whenever you're in town, you pack out some good ass food. Sometimes we like pack out a couple beers because, you know, you want a beer on a summit. That's a good time. trying to think what, like a lot of candy, a lot of Welch's fruit chews. Like I ate a ton of those.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for those.
Yeah, they're so good.
This sounds like perfect life. What do you mean?
Yeah, that sounds like hunting season to me.
Yeah, it is a lot like hunting food. Yeah, like I don't eat beanie weenies, but I imagine that would be like my like my best friend Major Hunter. He like fucking loves beanie weenies and Vienna sausages, those little canned things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people eat those, except it's in a can, so you don't really bring canned food because that's really heavy.
So like,
when
what
it's
was your
cold,
weight? Like, what was your
how
weight?
much do I weigh?
No.
Wow, dude, that's rude. You don't ask a woman that.
That does not offend me. Like how much does the food weigh?
No, like your backpack. So like your pack, like what you carry.
Like my pack with like, let's see, going in.
How much did your left foot weigh? Is what I was asking. No, just kidding.
Oh God, I'd have to chop it off to figure it out.
I'm just kidding.
My pack. My base weight, which base weight is like it's like a term in the thru hiker world, and some people like really OCD about their base weight. It's kind of nerdy to care about, but anyways, base weight is like, you know, all of your things except for consumables. So it doesn't include your food, your water, your fuel, maybe, you know, the clothing you wear, stuff like that. I think my base weight was around 11 or 12 pounds. And then you throw water in it, which I carry 1.5 liters of water at a time. Like I never carry more than that. And then food, depending on how many days you have, but I don't know, maybe like 3 to 4 days of food for me might weigh 10 to 12 pounds, I would think. Maybe 10 pounds. But I like guys eat so much more food. Usually they lose less. Guys lose more weight than women on the trail. Typically, women lose a lot less weight. Some women gain weight on the trail. But like Roman got to a point where he was eating like 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day.
Holy
and
cow.
He was still losing weight. And he was eating like good food, like backpacker, like dehydrated meals that are full of protein, full of heavy calories, you know, like high carb stuff. I was, at a healthy point in my hike, I was eating like probably 3,000 calories a day, which is kind of scary. Like I have a strange relationship with food at home, and like at home I might eat 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. But I got to a point on my hike where my appetite went. Like I had no appetite, didn't want food. Even when I was in town, I was like, I don't even care. Like I don't want to eat. I was like having to force myself to eat. I was not even consuming 1,000 calories in a day.
Jeez.
And I was like lethargic. I was exhausted. I was dragging ass. Like we were trying to hike 20 miles and I'm just like, dude, I'm falling asleep while I'm hiking. I don't feel good. I lost some weight pretty fast, and like I saw a picture of myself and I was like, oh fuck, dude, like you're kind of thin. Like you need to start eating food. Thankfully, my hiker hunger came back, and that's when you're basically like a 13-year-old boy and you want to eat everything in sight, and you cannot get satiated. Like you just never feel full, and you want to eat all the time. And that's when I started eating like 3,000 to 4,000 calories. Like I didn't even care how much my pack with food weighed. I was like, pack all the food, eat all of it, let's go ham. So yeah, food is like the best topic for thru hikers, honestly. Food is the shit.
Hell yeah.
And then you get to town and you just like, you go to town in town, you know what I mean? You just like eat everything. So good.
So I got to ask, just out of curiosity for my sake, knowing that passage is right here below the house, did you go into town while you were in Front Royal?
So I did go into Front Royal. So actually the Shenandoah National Park was closed. For majority of my hike. Plenty of hikers hiked through it. I personally didn't want to do that because I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to risk running into rangers. I didn't want to hike it while feeling like that they didn't want me there. And I didn't want to have to like worry about anything. So I was like, you know what, I'll come back and hike this later. So I've got to take a week in the fall and go hike that. It's like 108 miles. So yeah, my trail family, I took 4 days and went and hiked another section down south that I missed because I was sick and took 2 days off. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, yeah, I was in Front Royal I remember I met my trail family. They went to some grocery store over there, and then we went to McDonald's, and then there was a gear store called
Rural King.
Nope.
Or was it, that's the outfitter up on the corner.
There's an outfitter on a street. No shit, it's on a street, Jacqueline. What are you saying? It's across from like a coffee shop. There's a bakery right beside it.
Yep. I know where you're talking.
Okay, yeah. We went in there. Those people are super nice, by the way. That's a really cool outfitter. I liked those people. So yeah, I was there, and then we hiked out of there, and I don't even remember a lot of the trail in Virginia. It feels like a long time ago. But yes, I was in Front Royal.
Well,
cool little town. Yeah.
When you come back through to hike that section, you just let us know. And we've got a place out here you guys can stay at. Absolutely. We can have some beers and talk about hunting and hiking. Hell yeah. You can tell us, you can educate us on this section of the AT that I have yet to step foot on.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
I can't believe you haven't hiked that area, dude. You live right there.
I know. I did the same thing when I was in California.
Normal. It's pretty normal. Like, you'll go into trail towns and like these people don't hike. I'm like, dude, you live in a mountain town. Like, why aren't you hiking this? Like, I met people in New Hampshire that don't hike. I was like, dude, you're in like one of the best hiking states. What do you do with your time?
Hunt, fish.
Hunt. Yeah,
I got the river. I got the woods.
Okay, you got 2 out of the 3. You're good. Hunting can be a little like hiking, just, with a gun. So it's cool.
No, that's something that we do actually hike quite a bit. We do. So the Shenandoah Park, when it's open, has a lot of wonderful day and 2-day hikes, a lot of waterfall hikes, things like that. And we'll go do those.
Okay.
So
that's good.
It's almost more beneficial for us to go up and do those couple-day hikes up on the park as opposed to doing the section of the trail.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I'm glad you're at least out hiking.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me very happy. Yeah.
We free hike in the woods every day.
Through the middle of nowhere.
Trails. Don't need trails. I hike miles. Yep. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's how we find shit.
Yeah. The first time I turkey hunted, I was like, yo, this is fucking awesome. Like, we're hiking, but we have shotguns. I'm on board. This is amazing. Yeah.
Love it.
I'm on board with it.
We're heavy hikers. We're big hikers. You don't even know it. I could live in the woods, but I have a gun. So we ask one question here, and that is, what drives you outdoors?
What drives me outdoors?
Because you get it on a whole different perspective.
I think like it kind of goes back to like the like being a woman who can do anything kind of thing, but being outdoors, it has kind of always seemed like a dude's thing, and I'm like, nah, I'm a chick, I'm gonna do this, and it just gives me like a whole nother confidence that I don't get other places. It's like, I'm in the outdoors and I'm succeeding at this. This is really cool. I want more of this in whatever capacity. Like, it doesn't just have to be hiking. It's like kayaking, running outside, rock climbing, like whatever it is. Being outside and like succeeding in an outdoor activity gives me a really cool confidence that I don't get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a not euphoria, but what's the word? Adrenaline. Like, gives me a nice, good adrenaline rush every time I'm doing something cool outside. So, is that the right way to answer that question? 100%.
There's no wrong way. It's whatever drives you outdoors. Like, it could be anything, it could be the fucking sunsets. It could be whatever, like whatever makes you want to be outside,
Yeah. Yeah. So, and also the people that are into outdoorsy shit. Like, those are the raddest people you'll ever meet, because you all, you have the same interests, but like, you can come from all different walks of life. Like, on the trail, it's not people that are 27-year-old and white and female. Like, you meet all kinds of people. Like, you meet millionaires, you meet bums, you meet college kids, you meet moms with kids, you meet families. Like, you meet the coolest motherfucking people on trails. And yeah, that's what drives me. There's the answer. The people. Yeah,
there it is.
I love it.
There it is.
Oh, I love it.
Do you have any future goals? Like future things that you're like, what?
I just peaked.
No, I highly doubt that.
Yeah, no, I for sure do. My next goal, I don't know if this is like goal, but I mean it is. My next goal is to just like work at a ski resort this winter. So I can honestly so I can like work on my snowboarding and get better at that. That's my
So you're coming back to the Northeast?
Hell to the yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, either preferably Maine or New Hampshire, possibly somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, but I think the Northeast sounds cool. And then I have a lot of hiking goals, like just trails that I want to hike. I really want to run a 50K, like a trail ultra marathon. So I'm thinking about starting to train for one of those kind of soon. And then I want to build my own tiny house one day. Like, I wish I want to do this shit on my own and live in that. I actually want to have 2 tiny houses, like 2 different locations, so I can live in one in the winter and the other in the summer. And then whichever one I'm not in, rent it out and make money that way. So that's a goal. And I also have this weird goal to eat nachos in every state.
I like it. I can get behind that.
Such a stupid goal, but I'm working on it. So
I like it.
I've got probably 10 states down or something. Who knows?
We have all those goals. I had a goal like that when I graduated high school there are 2 stupid things. So when I graduated high school, I wanted to fish in every single state on the entire East Coast. And I did. I drove to Florida and I flew home and then I drove to Maine. And I fished every single state in the entire East Coast. And not only that, I collected wet naps from every Hooters on the entire 95 corridor from here to Florida. Just so you know, if anybody wants, that's what I did. 100%. I still have every single one of them. They're in a box. But yes, I collected a wet nap from every single state.
Are they like labeled so you know which Hooters it came from?
Yeah, we put the state on it and everything.
That's amazing. I really like that.
It's just something stupid. I don't know. It's like one of the things. Like it would be like 6 in the morning.
Stupid.
I drove with my uncle down to Florida because we went to move my cousin down there. But we got to fish the whole way, and we took us about a week and a half. And it would be like 6 in the morning. I'd be like, I think we need chicken wings. He's like, is there a Hooters? I'm like, yeah, there's a Hooters. So
nice. I think like if you had a trail name, it would be Wet Nap. Like that's how those things happen. You would be Wet Nap.
Shit. Trev, you got to change your name to Wet Nap.
That's it. We're calling it Wet Nap.
Dirt Nap has named you Wet Nap.
Dirt Nap and Wet Nap.
I love it.
God. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Cool.
Well, Jackie, we can't thank you enough for joining us. This has been a fun conversation, a long time coming.
This was fun. Yeah, this was a good time. Thank you so much.
Oh, anytime.
And, I'm going to come see you guys when I come through Shenandoah for sure.
Yeah, you let me know and we'll make that happen. I highly look forward to it.
Hell yeah, brother.
So everybody out there listening, please check this out, follow along. And real quick, Jackie, before we let you go, one last time, where can everybody find you?
I am on Instagram. It is Jackie Outside, JACKIE Outside. And yeah, that's where you can find me. That's about it.
Nice. See, Trev, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
That's all right. I bet you she has a Facebook. She don't want anybody following her there.
I do have a Facebook. I just tend not to add strangers. And then I have a blog, but I'm so fucking lazy and I just don't write enough. So, I mean, it's JackieOutside.com, but I haven't blogged since March, I think. So, it's like literally not even worth reading it. Don't waste your time. I think only my mom's there for it. So, thanks, Mom.
Awesome. Well, everybody, make sure you go and check Jackie's stuff out and keep up with her. It sounds like she's going to have some incredible things coming down the pipe. And we really look forward to seeing you have nachos in every state. We are going to push that and post that and make sure everybody supports it.
Yes, thank you. Nacho dreams coming true.
For sure. And again, thanks for joining us. And for everyone listening, thank you guys for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.